For more than 15 years, Bitcoin has stood as both a mystery and a monument. It was the first spark of a digital rebellion, a challenge to the old order of money. Born from the wreckage of the 2008 financial collapse, it offered something the world had lost faith in: trust without intermediaries. No governments, no banks, no central authorities, just math, just code, just the truth written on an incorruptible ledger. They said it wouldn't last. They said it was too volatile, too slow, too idealistic to survive in a world ruled by institutions. Yet here it stands, outlasting every critic and every crash. Even as empires of crypto have risen and fallen, as exchanges vanished and altcoins faded into obscurity, Bitcoin remained, unyielding, silent, eternal. But here's the paradox. While Bitcoin changed how we think about money, it never truly changed how we move it. Its network is revolutionary in principle but limited in speed. Transactions crawl. Energy demands soar. It's a fortress of value but not a highway for liquidity. And that is where the next revolution begins, the one quietly reshaping the global economy right now. A transformation the world is calling the Internet of Value, a system designed not to store money, but to move it anywhere instantly, just like information. The same way an email crosses continents in seconds, value itself is about to flow across borders with no middlemen, no friction, and no delay. This isn't science fiction. It's being built right now by the architects of global finance, central banks, and blockchain innovators alike. Projects like XRP, XDC, XLM, and QNT are laying the rails of an interoperable financial web where every currency, asset, and token can connect through a single standard, ISO 2022. And yet, above all the speed and compliance, one question remains. What anchors this new system? What gives value its meaning when everything becomes tokenized? When fiat turns digital and data becomes money, what's the foundation beneath it all? That's where Bitcoin returns, not as a competitor, but as a constant. Not as the rails, but as the reserve. Because in a world that's about to move trillions of dollars across invisible digital highways, there must be a vault somewhere, something untouchable, something trusted, something permanent. Bitcoin's story didn't end with its creation, it evolved. What began as rebellion against the financial system may now become the bedrock beneath it. Its role is shifting from disruptor to digital gold, from outsider to underpinning, a quiet guardian of value as the new rails rise above it. This is the hidden chapter in Bitcoin's journey, the one few have noticed but all will soon depend on. The story of how the original cryptocurrency outlived the hype, defied the collapse, and became the foundation of a world where value itself is set free. This is Bitcoin's hidden role in the new financial system. Part 1. The birth of digital gold. It all began with a crisis, a global one. The year was 2008 and the world watched as banks collapsed under their own greed. Markets tumbled. Governments printed trillions. And ordinary people learned a hard truth. The money in their accounts was only as trustworthy as the men controlling it. Then in the quiet corners of the internet, a white paper appeared. Signed by no corporation, no nation, only a name: Satoshi Nakamoto. 8 pages of mathematics, cryptography, and ideology that would ignite a revolution. It proposed a currency with no borders, no rulers, and no permission needed to exist. It was money for the people, by the people. Bitcoin was born out of distrust, a direct response to manipulation and monopoly. It wasn't about profits, it was about freedom. Peer-to-peer electronic cash, Satoshi called it. A system where every transaction was recorded publicly, verified by the network, and immune to corruption. It was the first successful marriage of code and currency. At first, the world laughed. A few cryptographers mined coins on laptops worth less than a cent. But word spread fast. What once seemed like a hobby became a movement, and then a philosophy. People began to see Bitcoin not as digital cash, but as digital gold, a scarce, incorruptible asset that could outlast governments, recessions, even wars. Its design was genius in its simplicity. Only 21 million coins would ever exist. Each block mined took time, energy, and effort, mirroring the cost of extracting gold from the earth. And just like gold, Bitcoin could be divided, stored, and transferred across generations. It was a system of value rooted not in promises but in mathematics. Still, Bitcoin wasn't perfect. Its security demanded sacrifice, speed, To preserve decentralization, it moved slowly. Transactions were transparent but deliberate. Finality took minutes, sometimes hours. Fees fluctuated with demand. In an age racing toward instant gratification, Bitcoin stood still, a monument of patience in a world of convenience. But perhaps that was the point. It wasn't built to replace Visa. It wasn't built for governments or banks. It was built to be untouchable. The ultimate hedge against manipulation. A system no one could shut off. And so, as the years passed, the narrative evolved. Bitcoin became more than a payment network. It became a symbol, a protest in code, a lifeboat in the storm of inflation, a digital vault of hope for those who no longer trusted the system. Yet even as its legend grew, the technology around it moved faster. A new generation of builders wasn't just interested in storing value. They wanted to move it. They envisioned a financial world where money flowed across borders like Wi-Fi, frictionless, compliant, and interconnected. These builders weren't trying to overthrow the system. They were trying to modernize it. They believed blockchain could bridge institutions, not destroy them. From this vision came the concept of the Internet of Value, the next evolution of money itself. Bitcoin had proven that decentralized trust was possible. But others would soon prove that decentralized speed was achievable. While Bitcoin became the vault, these new networks would become the rails. And that's where the story takes a turn. From rebellion to integration, from preservation to connection. The foundation had been laid. The world's attention shifted from the vault to the highway. Next came the question, how do you move the world's value as easily as sending a message? That question would give rise to the Internet of Value, and with it a new chapter in the evolution of global finance. Part 2. The rise of the Internet of Value. As Bitcoin settled into its role as digital gold, the world began to evolve around it. Blockchain was no longer a niche experiment. It was becoming infrastructure. The question was no longer, is crypto real? But how do we make it work for everyone? The answer came in the form of a new concept, one destined to reshape the global economy, the Internet of Value. Imagine a world where money moves like data, instantly, securely, and across any border. No waiting 3 days for a wire transfer. No billion-dollar fees siphoned by intermediaries. Just pure value flowing at the speed of light. That vision became the mission for a new generation of innovators. If Bitcoin was digital gold, these new systems would be digital highways. They weren't trying to replace banks. They were building a bridge between the old world and the new. They spoke the language of finance. ISO 2022, the global standard for payment data and interoperability. Their goal was simple yet revolutionary. Connect every currency, every ledger, every institution through one universal network of value. This was the birth of the Internet of Value, IOV, a financial web where XRP, XDC, XLM, QNT, and others became the underlying rails. Instead of competing with governments, they partnered with them. Instead of fighting regulation, they embraced it. They weren't rebels. They were engineers, designing the new plumbing for a tokenized economy. On these rails, money itself becomes programmable. A payment between two banks can execute instantly across continents. A shipment can trigger automatic settlements when sensors confirm delivery. Real estate, stocks, commodities, even carbon credits, everything can be tokenized and exchanged through a single interoperable network. The dream was audacious, to make value move like information freely and efficiently without barriers. To build a system so seamless that people would use it without even realizing it. But to achieve that, the world needed more than technology. It needed trust. And that's where the paradox emerged. The faster value moved, the more risk it carried. The more systems connected, the greater the need for something stable underneath it all. Something that couldn't be inflated, corrupted, or hacked. That foundation already existed. It had been waiting quietly, unbothered by compliance or speed. Bitcoin. While the Internet of Value was being architected to handle global liquidity, Bitcoin remained the one constant, unchanged, unbending, and unbreakable. It couldn't bridge banks or tokenize assets, but it could provide something no other digital asset could. An anchor of trust in a trustless world. In the IOV era, Bitcoin would no longer compete with faster networks. It would complement them. As banks and governments began digitizing assets, Bitcoin could serve as the reserve collateral, the universal denominator of value. Picture this: a world where XRP transfers the payment, QNT connects the networks, XDC tokenizes the contract, and Bitcoin sits quietly in the background, backing it all with immutable scarcity. The rails move the money, but Bitcoin remains the gold buried beneath them. That's the design of the new economy: speed above, certainty below. The Internet of Value isn't replacing Bitcoin. It's finally giving it purpose. What began as rebellion was now evolving into integration. The stage was set for a digital financial ecosystem where every piece of value, every dollar, yen, and euro, could flow through interoperable networks, backed by the immutable assurance of Bitcoin's existence. The Internet of Value was coming alive, and Bitcoin, the rebel that started it all, was about to become its silent guardian. Part 3. The new rails, XRP, XDC, and the infrastructure of trust. The Internet of Value was no longer theory. It was becoming the invisible engine beneath global finance. But to build an economy where value could move as fast as information, the world needed new rails and networks designed not for speculation but for utility. Enter the builders. Not rebels, not anarchists, architects. Projects like XRP, XDC, XLM, and QNT stepped forward, each with a specific role to play in the great restructuring of money. Together they formed the circulatory system of a tokenized planet, where data, assets, and liquidity could travel seamlessly across every border and blockchain. XRP became the lightning bolt of liquidity, a digital bridge connecting banks, payment providers, and exchanges in real time. While Bitcoin secured wealth, XRP moved it, instantly converting currencies and settling cross-border transactions without the drag of legacy systems. No more swift delays. No correspondent banks, just value flowing like water. XDC focused on the backbone of global trade, the trillions locked in invoices, shipping documents, and letters of credit. Its hybrid blockchain bridged private and public finance, tokenizing debt and supply chain contracts, so businesses could access liquidity within seconds instead of months. XLM became the people's rail, a humanitarian engine for inclusion, enabling micropayments and remittances where banks never reached. And QNT, the invisible layer above them all, served as the operating system, linking every blockchain, bank, and network into a unified web of interoperability. Together, these networks weren't just replacing the old system. They were rebuilding it from the ground up in digital form. The Internet of Value wasn't chaos, it was choreography. Every protocol, every standard, every transaction spoke the same data language. But behind all this speed and efficiency lay one critical truth: trust can't be programmed. As the rails expanded, they needed something solid underneath, a base layer immune to inflation, censorship, and manipulation. A foundation to guarantee that the value zipping through these new channels actually meant something. And that foundation was Bitcoin. Think of the IOV as a skyscraper. XRP, XDC, and QNT are the floors and elevators. Dynamic, complex, alive. But the building stands only because its foundation never moves. Bitcoin, with its fixed supply and decentralized design, is that bedrock. It doesn't need to compete with these networks. It empowers them. Imagine a future corridor where a shipment leaves Singapore, a payment triggers across RippleNet, and the liquidity that settles it is ultimately collateralized by tokenized Bitcoin reserves. The value flows above. The trust rests below. That is the infrastructure of trust, and a hybrid between utility and immutability, speed and security. This is how the Internet of Value matures, not by destroying the old world, but by absorbing it. Banks and governments plug into XRP for settlement. Enterprises tokenize on XDC, developers connect through QNT, and beneath it all, Bitcoin provides the digital certainty every institution still craves. The new rails run on innovation, but the rails themselves are built on faith. Faith that value once created will remain real. And in a digital world, that faith begins and ends with Bitcoin. The rails are rising, the systems are connecting, and somewhere deep beneath them, the quiet hum of Bitcoin continues. The pulse of permanence in a world finally ready to move at the speed of trust. Part 4. Bitcoin's evolution, from rebel coin to reserve asset. Every revolution eventually meets its reckoning. The creation that begins as rebellion must either fade into history or evolve into something greater. Bitcoin was no exception. When Satoshi Nakamoto disappeared, Bitcoin was left to the world, unowned, uncontrolled, and unstoppable. But as adoption grew, so did its narrative. What began as digital cash for the people soon became digital gold for the planet. The network hardened, the ideology matured, and the players changed. Hedge funds, governments, and billion-dollar corporations entered the scene. What was once a movement of outsiders became the investment of insiders. Bitcoin's destiny shifted from protest to portfolio, from underground asset to institutional reserve. And it's here, in this transition, that Bitcoin's true evolution began. While the rails of the Internet of Value were being laid, the world needed a universal denominator of trust, a neutral reserve that no nation could manipulate, no company could inflate, and no algorithm could rewrite. A digital constant to back a financial system that was moving faster than any in history. That constant was Bitcoin. As the Internet of Value matured, assets like XRP, XDC, and QNT provided the speed and interoperability the modern economy demanded. But in every system of movement, there must exist an anchor. Bitcoin's role was no longer transactional. It was foundational. It had become the digital collateral underpinning the new financial order. Imagine central banks tokenizing reserves backed by Bitcoin's immutable ledger. Imagine stablecoins and CBDCs indirectly pegged to digital gold instead of political trust. Imagine a world where nations trade across interoperable rails, while their underlying confidence stems from the same 21 million coins that can never be printed, seized, or forged. That's not a fantasy. It's already forming. Bitcoin ETFs have turned the asset into regulated collateral. Custodial institutions hold billions in cold storage. Sovereign funds are exploring direct accumulation. The rebel coin that once defied governments is slowly becoming the asset they rely on. The irony is poetic. The network born to escape the system is now being integrated into it, not as an enemy, but as its immune system. Bitcoin stands guard over the Internet of Value, ensuring no single entity can corrupt the flow of global liquidity. It is no longer the payment network of the future. It is the reserve asset of the digital age. And in this new structure, every role is clear. XRP and XDC move value across rails. QNT links the ledgers. Stablecoins like RLUSD or USDC handle fiat interface. But beneath them all lies Bitcoin, the vault, the anchor, the silent guarantor that the system's foundation will never crack. The rebellion became the reserve. The chaos became certainty. The myth became math. Bitcoin's greatest achievement isn't its price or its fame. It's its permanence. It's the proof that trust can exist without permission. It's the evidence that value, once freed from human control, can survive generations. As the rails of the Internet of Value hum to life, Bitcoin's purpose has crystallized. It doesn't need to move to matter. It simply needs to exist, uncorrupted, untouchable, and incorruptibly pure. That's what makes it the ultimate reserve for a programmable world. And in that realization, we see the truth. Bitcoin never failed to evolve. It simply waited for the world to catch up. Part 5. The future coexistence, not competition. For over a decade, the crypto world has been obsessed with one question: which coin will win? Bitcoin maximalists claim nothing else matters. XRP supporters argue the future belongs to utility. Ethereum, Solana, and 1,000 others each fight for dominance. But history has always shown, evolution doesn't choose one victor. It rewards those that adapt and coexist. The next chapter of Money One, to be a battlefield of coins, it will be a network of systems, each serving a distinct purpose in a single, interoperable web. And that web is the Internet of Value. In this future, Bitcoin doesn't compete with XRP or XDC. It completes them. Bitcoin stores value, the others move it. One guards the vault, the other opens the door. It's not rivalry, it's rhythm. Picture the coming decade. Banks, payment corridors, and governments all connected through instant tokenized settlement. Transactions move across XRP in seconds. XDC tokenizes trade and credit. QNT synchronizes data between blockchains and legacy systems. XLM connects humanitarian rails, and stablecoins or CBDCs interface with the public. It's a symphony of movement, a digital orchestra playing in perfect tempo. But every orchestra needs a key, a single note that grounds the entire composition. That's Bitcoin. It's not about transactions anymore, it's about trust. Bitcoin's role is to remain unchanging, incorruptible, and universally recognized as digital value itself. It's the floor beneath the skyscraper, the silence between notes, the constant that allows everything else to move without falling apart. This isn't the end of Bitcoin's story, it's its rebirth. As speculation fades and real-world adoption takes over, Bitcoin's purpose becomes more philosophical than financial. It becomes the anchor of digital truth, the proof that decentralization works. And this is where the Internet of Value reaches its perfection. Bitcoin, the store of immutable value. XRP, the bridge of instant liquidity. QNT, the operating system that connects it all. XDC, the rail for trade and enterprise tokenization. URLust and CBDCs, the fiat interfaces for daily use. Together they don't form chaos, they form coordination. The world isn't heading toward one coin to rule them all. It is heading toward one system that connects them all. Bitcoin will remain at the center, not because it outcompetes, but because it outlasts. It's the measuring stick for everything tokenized, the assurance that scarcity and value still mean something in a programmable economy. So when people ask, will Bitcoin still matter in 10 years? The answer is yes, but not for the same reasons. It will matter because it became the constant, the base layer of faith, in a financial system that no longer needs paper or permission to operate. The Internet of Value is not the death of Bitcoin, it's its fulfillment. It's the world Satoshi imagined, but expanded through collaboration instead of isolation. As the rails of XRP hum beneath the world's banks, as QNT bridges the networks, as tokenized assets flow freely across digital borders, Bitcoin remains the vault. The digital heartbeat reminding the system what real value feels like. No longer rebellion, no longer theory, just coexistence. A world where money finally works as seamlessly as the internet itself. The revolution isn't Bitcoin versus the Internet of Value. The revolution is Bitcoin within it. And as the lights of this new financial era turn on, the oldest name in crypto won't fade into the shadows. It will glow brighter than ever, silent, strong, and eternal. The vault beneath the rails as the world races toward instant settlement, tokenized assets, and programmable finance. One truth remains unchanged. Trust still matters. And in this new age of speed and interoperability, the foundation of trust has a name: Bitcoin. It doesn't compete with the rails. It strengthens them. It doesn't seek attention. It ensures stability. While XRP, XDC, and QNT move the world's value across invisible highways, Bitcoin sits quietly beneath it all, the vault beneath the rails, eternal and unbreakable. The Internet of Value didn't replace Bitcoin. It fulfilled it. The rebellion became the reserve. The spark became the standard. So when the world's digital money begins to move at light speed, remember what holds it all together: the silence of the blockchain that never sleeps. This is the evolution of money. This is the Internet of Value. And Bitcoin is its heartbeat. Subscribe to LTL Productions, where we uncover the stories shaping the next financial revolution, one deep dive at a time. Because the system has already changed. Most people just haven't realized it yet.